to the Leo Training Podcast with Joe DeLeo. You'll hear in-depth interviews and tips from world-class athletes, coaches, and industry-leading experts to help you train smarter and improve at what you love to do. Train smarter, get stronger, move better, race faster. Here's your host, Joe DeLeo.
We're back with episode 36 of the Leo Training Podcast, and I've got a fantastic episode for you this week. My guest is Luis Ahrens-Teixeira. Luis is the co-founder of the Avizaqcua Training Center and is also the co-founder of Herdade de Cortesia, which is the hotel portion of the training center. Luis is also the president of Portugal's Rowing Federation. In this episode, we cover a ton of ground. We talk about Luis's youth and his experiences on the Portuguese national rowing team, as well as his vision and work as an entrepreneur in creating the Avizaqcua Training Center. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Welcome, Luis Ahrens-Teixeira, to the Leo Training Podcast. Thank you for coming on this morning and sharing your experiences with the rowing community.
Hello, good morning. Hello, Leo. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Luis. It's great having you here. I'm very excited for you to come on and share your experiences. So let's kick things off and have you talk a little bit about your background as a rower, and then how that segued into your current work as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm from Lisbon, Portugal, but now I live in Aviz, and I started rowing in '88. I was in college. Actually, I was in a private school, a Catholic school, with all the sports facilities. We play everything. But then I moved to the public school and I had no sports there. And I was addicted to sports, And, Lisbon is a city by a big river, by the sea. And one day I was with my mom, going back home from school. And I was kind of complaining because I didn't have any sports at school. And I saw a rowing boat, just like that, on the Lisbon harbor. I saw a single. And from the moment I saw that boat on the water, I said, oh, I like this, So I jumped on the first rowing club I saw, just a few meters from where I was. And that's the way it started. Because by that time I was 16 years old. And I want to get fit to be a rally driver, so I need to play sports. But I stood on rowing.
Awesome. So you spent some time on the Portuguese national team.
Yeah.
So could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So I started rowing in '88. I was 16 years old, summer of '88, and then in '92, so '91, I raced a single as junior. And in '92, I was selected for the Portuguese rowing team. And I stood there until 2004. So I raced 9 worlds. And I got a bronze medal at the Worlds in Indianapolis, '94, and Eagle Creek Park. And then I got a few medals at the World Cups in single in 2004. So the results were not what I expected all my life, but I learned a lot from rowing, and if I had a chance, I would do it again.
Awesome. Yeah, rowing's one of those sports where you definitely learn a hard work ethic, and it carries over very well to all walks of life afterward.
Yeah, no doubt. I remember even when I was an international rower, I used to read all about the top rowers in the world, like Silken Laman from Canada. And I remember that a few words from Silken Laman, that what every stroke you give on your daily basis teach you a lot. And now that I'm a little bit older, I can see that she is exactly right.
Awesome.
And it's a great background for no matter what you do. If you have a strong rowing background, you can perform in everything in life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So After your career, you kind of segued into, I guess, the next phase of your professional career, and you launched, the premier rowing training center in the world, which is pretty incredible. I've had the pleasure of checking out the website, and have had many conversations with our mutual friend Michael Doredita. So could you talk about, where you got the idea and the vision for that, and sort of how it's grown over the years, and what it is?
Yeah, actually, what I like to do in life is sports, surfing, and fishing. Okay. I have studied economics, but I was a rower, so I was not concerned at all about my professional life. And when I was rowing, I was always looking for a part-time job in order to give me enough hours to train. So I never thought about long-term professional career. So I was always moving from job to job to get a part-time job. And Lisbon is a very bad place to row, especially if you are in an Olympic event. You cannot row a shell there. You cannot row a scull there. So Lisbon rowing clubs, they always try to go out of Lisbon to find places to row. And Aviz is 1 hour and a half from Lisbon. It was a place where the Lisbon rowing clubs used to go for training since the 70s, late 70s. And I was one of those rowers that used to come to Aviz to train. And because I stood on a national team, I used to come here a lot because the rowing conditions are really, really good. And also because rowing in Portugal is not a strong rowing. I used to move to other countries and to other teams to train. And in 99, I moved to Denmark a few weeks to train with the Danish. And so I got kind of friends with those guys. And I also used to train in Seville, in Munich, in Barcelona, Banyoles. So I was aware that the rowing teams were looking for new and good places for training. And so they were looking for not crowded places, good water facilities, everything. So in 2004, I was on the way to quit rowing, I had 9 worlds by that time, and I was on the way, okay, this is it. I'm just going to stop my international rowing and I will start doing something. Okay, so I was on that situation. I didn't know exactly what to do. And that year, 2004, Michael Doredita was the head coach of the Portuguese team. And we were training in a place also not far from Lisbon, a very nice place for training. And Mike was quite impressed with the conditions of that place. And I said to Mike, hey, wait, because you haven't been in Aviz yet. Aviz is much better than this. So a month later, we come to Aviz for a 3 weeks training. And Aviz was kind of my hometown for training. I'm not from Aviz, I'm from Lisbon. And when Mike arrived in Aviz, Mike was totally amazed with everything. From the water conditions, no one who uses the dam. You can collect oranges from the trees, It's such an environment that Mike was totally amazed. And by that time, this was March 2004, I said to Mike that I had the idea of having a place for rowing teams to get some rowing teams in Aviz. And Mike, on that really typical US way, just told me, you've got to do it. Okay. And that was like the click. I was on my way, stopped my rowing career. What will I do? And I said, okay, this is it, so this was March 2004, and we were preparing to race the World Cups in Poznan. And I said to Mike, I will do that, and at Poznan, at the World Cups, a few weeks later, I talked with the Danes, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this and that. Okay, and the Danes were, okay, that looks good. And after the Olympics in Athens, the Danish called me and said, hey, Luis, we know about your idea, and we want to go there, and we can help you on these. That was a bit surprise for me, I have no money, I have anything. And I just said, okay, come, and I will organize the things for you. So I had a car, a 2-seat car, that I used to drive for my training. And I founded a company. So I sold my car by 5,000 euros because in Portugal, to fund a company, you must do a deposit in a bank of 5,000 euros. So I sold my car, 5,000 euros, and I made a deposit in a bank and I create my own company. And then I start running the Danish camps in Avizaqcua. Okay, things were really well because the water conditions are supreme. And that year, the Danish came twice. So this was the winter of 2005 after the Olympics in Athens. And 2006, I went to the world by myself with some papers and some brochures in my hand, some pictures. And after the Worlds in Italy in 2006, the Norwegian came, Lassi Karonen from Sweden came, and Maya Dreisel from New Zealand came. So the conditions were really good, you know. Then I started having a partner with me. Now I have 3 partners, and we start having more and more people. And we were lucky enough to have the best cars in the world, you know. So at the first year, we had the Danish team, we had Maya Dreisel, we had Lassi Karonen, we had Olaf Tufte. Nothing better to start, right? So
yeah.
Then at the same time, I was doing the business plan of the hotel. Okay, that we didn't want to be just a training center. Should be a very nice hotel, very good for rowers, but also very good for other kinds of guests. So by 2007, we start the construction of the place, of our center, of our hotel. And when the year of 2008, before Beijing, we had no hotel yet, but we were crowded with rowing teams and top teams in the world. So we opened the hotel January 2009, so 7 years ago. And because the water conditions are really good, then we set up a rowing course. You know, everything we do, we think about the teams and the rowers' needs. The size of the beds, the quality of the rooms, the food, you know, ourselves, we are always here to help the team. So we are lucky enough to have the top teams in the world training here. So we have Denmark, Norway, GB, we have the Germans, we have the Austrians. Actually, it's not easy to find a room here because the teams booked a lot in advance. So it's a big challenge, but also it's a very, very nice, it's a great honor and a great privilege to have all these guys showing up at the hotel, you know, and most of them, they are our friends. Just now, an hour ago, the Danish team left. They were here 3 times with us, and they bring the kids, they bring the babies, and this is just amazing. If you search on Facebook from our hotel, you'll see all the pictures, you know. Yesterday I was planting cork trees with the kids of Olympic champions, you know, from Denmark. And so that's ourselves. That's what we do. We're just not a normal hotel that sells rooms, you know. So they come here and they have very good time, and we also have very, very good time with them.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most unique things about what you're doing is, and you reiterated a few times, it's not just a training center and it's not just a hotel. It's very unique in that it crosses over into both, and you provide a top-notch 5-star facility, access to premier rowing water, and I believe equipment as well, right?
Yeah, we have an amazing gym that we don't save anything there. We have top equipment, you know, the weights, they are Salter, the Swedish company. So, because I was a rower and I know exactly what the teams feel and what the teams need. And those guys, they come here to be Olympic champions. That's it. Okay. There's no bullshit. We know why they come here.
Right.
So,
right.
They come here to perform. Just that.
Yeah.
They don't come here because we are nice guys. Okay? That's second plan. They come here to perform. And we have to provide them all the conditions they need to perform. You know, rowers are quite honest. So we have to provide everything they need on top. Okay? So quality for us is a very important issue. Yeah.
So, could you talk a little bit about how much kilometers of water is available to row on to give the audience an idea of, the layout and the facilities and stuff in terms of the size?
That's one of the key points here. So this is a natural reservoir dam, and the hotel is in the middle of the lake, I would say, and we have 3 different ways to go. The shorter one is 8K, so you can make a session of 16Ks. Then you have another way with 10, so it makes you a session of 20Ks. And you have another way with 13, 12 and a half, 13K. So this is really good because if it's too windy one side, you just go to the other side. Or you're tired to go to one side, and then in the morning you go to one way, in the afternoon you go the other way, next day you can go the other way. If we have a big team like GB and they have several boats on the water, some boats go different ways, and you can still have an amazing privacy while you're training. Okay, so this place never gets rushed. The hotel, the building of the hotel is 400, 500 meters from the water. And on the way to the water, we have an amazing gym. Okay, with everything I told you. So a lot of the equipment we hired from a British company that provides the gyms at the Olympics in London. All the rest is quite simple. This is a farm on the countryside of Portugal, a region very famous by olive oil and wine, one of the famous regions in the world by wine. And one of the key points of the project is that we should preserve the natural atmosphere and the natural resources around. Okay. That's what also makes this place unique, because when you are here, you are really in the core of the Portuguese countryside. So I think we got all those things really well matched. Okay. So that's it. The most important is the water conditions, and we try hard to preserve that. We have the GB coaches this winter. They got some videos of wild boars crossing the dam, swimming, So you have an amazing also wildlife around, and that's not dangerous at all, but makes this place even more special. And the air is totally clean. There's no pollution around. The food is great. The stars in the sky at night are just amazing. Some of the rowers, like Pete Reed from the GB rowing team, he's an amazing photographer, and he takes great shots about the place and about the surroundings of the hotel. So I think this is a very nice place for training, to focus on your own training. The place is beautiful, so you don't get tired of these. And the rowers also have very nice sleeps. That's what they say. They can really recovery and rest. So that's it. I think rowers are simple guys, and I'm a simple guy, but we just like to welcome people here. Okay, when they are here, I don't see them as my customers. I see them as some guys that I like to have here. So I'm really happy to have them here, and I just provide what I provide to my best friends. Some of them, they become very good friends.
That's outstanding, and it sounds like you've covered absolutely every facet that's important to creating a very good training environment for the top level athletes, from the hotel to the water to the equipment, the food. That way they can train and they can recover. It's also, it sounds like it's set away, from the city, because it's in the farm side, so it's quiet. There's not going to be a lot of distractions.
Yeah, it's quiet, but it's not boring because it's so pleasant. Okay. Also, we know that being in a training camp, and the rowers stay in training camps a lot of days per year. Being in a training camp is quite boring. Okay. The rowers are tired. They are away from home. So there's a lot of small details that we try to improve, and we try to provide the rowers in order the training camps are not that boring. Okay. If they have an afternoon off, sometimes we have pancakes on the restaurant, They do their own pancakes. Okay. So that's
that's awesome.
rowers like to eat,
Yes, we do.
yeah. So we always do, and we don't plan these, I still go on the water and train, and it's really cold sometimes, or it's really hot sometimes, and I think, it will feel good now, some fresh pineapple when I get out of the water. So then we provide that to the rowers. Okay. So it's just, because we still do what they do, we can feel exactly what they probably would like to have, and then we provide them. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the constant focus on quality and service to the athletes. That's very clear.
Yeah, that's the only way, I think. Also, that sometimes we can do some wrong stuff, but that just helps us to do it better next time. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this has been great. I ask every guest some rapid fire questions. These are just kind of fun so the audience can get to know you a little bit better. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So given your current experience and knowledge level, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself 10 years ago?
Oh, that's a great question. And actually I've been thinking a lot about that. I think I'm really privileged to have, rowers are different guys. I have no doubts with that. Okay. Once I have a lot of talks with the top rowers and the top coaches in the world. And, once Paul Reedy, the Australian coach, is coaching the GB rowing team, the women's lightweight double. They were Olympic champions in London. And Paul Reedy once, we were just having dinner, and Paul said, there's not many people in the world that can have such a level of commitment like the rowers. Okay. And I think the top rowers, and most of the rowers I know, they are amazing athletes, but most of them, they are strong characters and amazing persons. Okay. So rowers, they are quite good on balancing the demandings, but they all are strong hearts. They all have strong hearts. So they are very good people. Sometimes I find myself on that. I think I also have a strong heart and I give too much of myself. And sometimes I think that sometimes I give too much, like a young kid,
Right.
I'm talking about business side, not sports side. I'm talking about business side. And I had an advice from a businessman, really a businessman, that told me once, you should put a stone in your heart sometimes. Okay. And sometimes I think about that, because this might sound strange, but if I was just dealing with rowers, it would be great. I have no problem with that. But, because I've been a rower for so long that my community, my networks are really strong on rowing, and rowing people are really above the average. I have no doubt saying that. Most of the rowing athletes, top rowing athletes, they are above the average in terms of mindset. And the people outside the rowing, they're not.
Right.
This might sound arrogant, but this is just what I face on my daily basis. Okay. And for that, so my advice for me 10 years ago, I should put more often a stone in my heart. It's sad, but it's true.
No, I like that. That's good. So what's your favorite strength training exercise? Like a weight strength training, so weight exercise or body weight, something you would do in the gym?
Oh, you're talking about, okay. I love, when I was a rower, that's what you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Long distance rowing. I really had the feeling that provides me all the stamina, all the endurance to perform on the race day.
Okay.
And, if you have that, long and steady rowing, then on a week of the Worlds, you can perform every races and you can improve every races. Okay. Actually, if I had a chance, going back to your first question, one advice that I will give to myself in terms of rowing is never train alone, or try to train always with partners. Because I was a rower in Lisbon. I was the only one racing internationally. So I think 95 or 98% I train alone. And that's not good. That's not good. You need a team to perform. Even if you are a single sculler, you need to be in a team to perform. Okay. To make each other fast. And I didn't have that. I didn't have that. So that would, if I could go back on time, I would try to have more training partners, which I didn't. Yeah.
Absolutely. Right on. How has your training changed today compared to 10 years ago when you were an athlete?
Yeah. I'm still very active in sport.
Mm-hmm.
Still very active, I love sports. That's what I like. I'm addicted to that, and I'm addicted to competition. When I go, no matter what I do, I cannot do it slow. I just have to go full power. So I try to train once a day, and most of the times I can do it. Also this year I'm doing some triathlons, but the last 5 or 6 years I got addicted with surf, and the thing is that I'm quite sure I can still I can improve my surf skills, but I will never get faster in a rowing boat again. So,
right.
So I'm putting my money on surf now. But also this year I was challenged to do the nationals in Portugal, so I'm back on the water a lot, and actually I'm having a lot of fun in the single. Of course, training changed for me because now I'm not a rower anymore or an athlete, but I can't live without training. Also because my body needs that, and also my mind needs that. I work a lot. I'm what they call an entrepreneur, so I don't have a schedule. I just work until I sleep. And training for me is also a moment for myself and a moment to get away from things, or a moment where I get new ideas, or a moment where I set up my mind to work or to rest. So we used to train and we used to get tired because we train. Now training is my resting time. Okay. So it's the opposite. And, but I will think I will just train all my life. I don't think I'm quite sure about that.
No, I like that, and it's great because the training can give you a lot of ideas and mental clarity. It's a good environment to focus.
No doubt. Sometimes when I'm running or I'm on the water, some of the very nice ideas I had to the hotel, I was on the water training in my single. Okay, then it comes to your mind and you say one idea, 2 ideas, 3 ideas. Okay, that's enough for this session. Don't forget those 3 ideas. Sometimes I have to write some articles on to think about some presentations or speeches, and I say that to last minutes, and I'm never concerned because I just need to go for a run or for a training session, and all that will come into my mind. So it's very good. I think it's our moment, my moment when I'm training. No one else's moment. It's my moment.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I love it. Last question, because I know you gotta run.
It's okay. It's okay. You can stay more 10 minutes.
Okay. So have you ever had an injury? And if so, how did that affect your training?
Yeah. I had a strong injury in 2006, a disc prolapse, and affect my training a lot. I was just one of those rowers that I just try to improve in everything I can, and I'm just trying to make the best out of even the worst moments. And so I had a very strong disc prolapse, and by that time the Danish team was already training here. When I was injured, I was training in Australia, and I couldn't even stand on my feet time enough to shave myself. So I was trying to shave myself, and I have to stop and lay down on the floor. And so when I arrived in Portugal, the Danish team came to Avizaqcua, to my place, and the Danish physio just helped me a lot. He advised me not to go for surgery, and they have a strong experience on that, the Danish physio, and they gave me a bunch of exercises on my core, and I follow that as a religion. So And at the same time, the doctors, the top guys in Portugal, told me that I should go for surgery. But I believed on the Danish physio, and I stood on that. So a few months later, I was doing an half marathon in 1 hour and 22 minutes. So just following the training program of the Danish physios. And that was impressive. Okay. I learned a lot with that. First, I learned that, so when I was injured, when I got this injury, I was 31 or 32. And the first thing I learned was if I had done that since I started, I probably would never had a disc prolapse. So for the young rowers, the core stuff, those exercises that might be ridiculous because they are too small, too picky, I think they are the most important, okay? Because they are very important on preventing injuries, okay? After that, I cannot live without doing those exercises. And also I learned that the only way I can have a healthy life with my back is doing sports, is doing exercises. So if I stop doing exercises, I will be in pain. Also, I turned to yoga the last year and a half. And yoga is really an amazing exercise. And I know that some top teams in the world are already doing some yoga, introducing some yoga drills to their training program. So I think as you get older, not old, but as you improve your years on your rowing stuff, you learn your body. So you're much more aware of your body. What do you need? What do you need to perform? What do you need to recover? And this injury was a very good wake up call because when we are 20s, we think that we just survive everything, right?
Yeah, we're invincible.
We're invincible. And then we realize, okay, maybe we're not. And, so there's a lot of things we should do on the previous year of our rowing that will make us even more invincible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the sentiment when you're in your early 20s. Is you're Superman. You can do anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you actually kind of touched on my next question. You mentioned the younger athletes, junior athletes. You said they should be doing. That's one of the most important things to be doing the core training. Could you just mention, I guess, some of the specific exercises that you do that you feel they might incorporate in their training?
Yeah, there was, when I got injured, the physio from the Danish team, Hannes, he just gave me an exercise. The name of the exercise is McKinsey exercise. Mm. And Hannes told me, Luis, you must do this every hour. It was only 10 reps. Okay? 10 reps. So no matter if I was at the office or if I was driving my car on a highway, I would stop. I had my alarm clock. Every hour, I would stop and do the exercises 10 times. Because I'm not a physiotherapist, but that just works a lot your back and the space you have between the discs and all that. So that McKinsey exercise was just amazing. So this was 206, okay? And now I'm doing the yoga stuff. And in yoga, you do a lot of these exercises. So, everything also that is relating with your small muscles around your belly or they are really, really important to provide a stronger core. Okay. And as I see the top teams training in the world here in my place, they spend more and more time on those small details that they mean a lot on the performance because they probably get you out of a lot of injuries and a lot of troubles. Okay, but the McKinsey exercise is the one I remember the most because I guess that saved my back. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. What's your best tip to improve recovery after a training session?
Wow, I think is drinking and eating and sleeping. Simple stuff. I think drinking is really hydration is really, 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 really important. Really important. And once again, as you get older, you realize that the water, you need to drink water. You need to drink water. You need to drink water. And the food, I think yesterday I met a friend of mine here. He was also a sport guy, and he asked me, if I eat healthy. And I said, hey, I eat more and more healthy stuff, No one told me that, but I just feel that I should. And I think that's the key points when I was a rower, and I also feel that in surf, when I was a rower, I used to feel that I was on the top of my fitness when I woke up at 6:30 in the morning without an alarm clock and hungry to go for breakfast. So that was my sign that I'm ready to race. Okay. So I think the drinking, the eating, the sleeping, and sleeping in the right hours. Okay. Go to bed early, wake up early. Okay. And you need to be steady on that. It's not, one day, 1 hours, the other day. No, you need to do that steady all your life. And I think that's very, very important. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Final question. What's one book you recommend everybody should read?
Yeah, one book. Steve Redgrave's book. For me, it's impressive.
Lifetime the Golden Age, yeah. Okay.
Golden Age.
Yeah.
The Golden Age. Yeah. And I also have a few others out of sports. But the Golden Age just shows that, and I think all the rowers should, especially the young rowers, people might think that Steve Redgrave had everything, and he didn't. He just turned that possible. So, and that just shows our rowers that, you need to fight. Okay. Things are not given to you. You must go and take them. So, the Golden Age for Assault on Lake Casitas also from Brad Allen Lewis.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I have both of those. They're excellent.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, that wraps us up. Luis, just hang on the line. Let me give you a proper goodbye. But thanks so much for coming on and sharing your experiences and your journey into entrepreneurship and the Avizaqcua Center.
Thanks a lot, Leo. It was a pleasure to talk with you. I hope to see you soon. Okay, in a race course. Okay.
Yeah.
Even in or off the water, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Leo Training Podcast. If you did, please take a moment of your time, head on over to iTunes and drop in a 5-star review. Or please share it on your favorite social media networks such as Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And be sure to tune in for our brand new episode, and the guest will be Dr. Ed Wittich, the Director of Performance Innovation for BAT Logic.
Thanks for listening to the Leo Training Podcast. Subscribe and get even more expert training tips at www.leotraining.io.